Today, how to travel with your photos and data safely, plus a couple fun stories from my workshop here at the southern edge of the world.
Well, hey everybody, just a quick prologue to this video that I haven't shared, that I shot last fall in Patagonia about just taking good care of your data while you're on the road, and a couple workshop stories. I'm actually gearing up, taking off for Kauai, where I'm teaching a workshop with my good buddy David Archer, who is not only an awesome landscape photographer, but just a drop-dead amazing wildlife photographer. And I just wanted to put out the word. He and I just opened up enrollment for our Costa Rica workshop this June, and it's going to be to an incredibly biodiverse region of the rainforest, staying in a really, really nice eco resort and taking excursions to photograph some spectacular wildlife. So if you're interested, check it out. I'm putting a link in the video. Okay, back to Patagonia.
All right, so I'm coming to you from my workshop. We're about a third of the way through this long workshop in Patagonia. I'm in Torres del Paine National Park. I'm in this beautiful spa hotel. I'll explain why in a minute as part of a couple fun stories from the road. But I want to talk just really briefly about how I travel with my photos and data and keep it safe. You know, I never, once I start getting beautiful images, you could have a theft, you could have some kind of horrible accident and lose your camera gear, your tripods, your computers, whatever, but I don't want to lose the images. Once I've started getting images that I really love and that I care about, that's the most important thing. That's the thing that's irreplaceable. And so I have a kind of a simple system that I use when I'm on the road. I bring two of these these Samsung T5 SSDs that I recommend, and I'll have links. If you look in the YouTube description, just scroll to show more. I'll have links to these drives. I have a 2 terabyte one and a 1 terabyte one, and I keep my Lightroom catalog on the 1 terabyte drive, and I keep all of the photos and data that I'm collecting while I'm on my trip on the 2 terabyte drive. I have a couple extra 500s along in case I flood that 2 terabyte drive, but you know, hopefully I don't use more than 3 or 4 terabytes. Alongside it, I have this El Cheapo Costco special spinning 5400 RPM 2 terabyte. I believe this is a I don't know if it's a cheap hard drive, whatever brand. But the key, it's Seagate. The key is, you know, this is going to be the backup drive. So whether I'm importing in Lightroom or in On1 Photo Raw, when I'm importing in that import dialog box, there's always a make a second copy to, and I have it sent to this old slow spinning hard drive. And that drive goes in a Ziploc bag in my photo bag. So if the hotel was hit while I'm gone, if the car got broken into while I'm on the road, whatever happens, I'm safe so long as that hard drive is always with me. I carry it into dinner. I'll put it in my jacket pocket or my pants pocket. So that way, everything's safe. I also, and when I'm using Lightroom, I've got that Lightroom catalog. This is my master catalog from home. It's backed up on my computer at home, and it's backed up on this hard drive along with the photo files while I'm on the road. That way I don't lose my catalog and all the work that I've done sorting those images while I was on the road. So just a key tip, I think it's important that you have your photos in 2 spots. Now, if you have a ton of SD cards or XQD cards or compact flash or whatever your camera shoots, it's okay to put that stuff onto hard drives. Keep the hard drive with you and keep those memory cards from your camera sacrosanct. That totally works too. I prefer clearing the cards. I like to have big 128 gigabyte cards, a couple spare 64s in case I run out of space. And then I just keep everything on these little drives. These are fast. These are the ones I work off of. These are the working drives because the data flows through my computer much more quickly through a good USB 3.1 type B connector. This one, it's just a backup. It's that insurance policy. All right, enough of that. So a couple fun stories from this trip. I, year and a half ago, set up this location in Lago Pauai. It's spelled P-E-H-O, but it's pronounced Pauai. There's the hostel right on the island, and it's a little bit run down, but it's the most beautiful, beautiful location. And you would just wake up at dawn and have these mountains across the lake from you, potential for reflections if it's calm, although it's been windy while we've been here. And unfortunately, literally got the whole group down here in Punta Arenas. There's demonstrations going on. We saw some fires in the streets. We stayed safely away, took some photos of peaceful protesters, went up the coast a little bit, got out of town, and then we drove here into Torres del Paine. And literally the morning that we're driving off, we got a message that hostel has failed an inspection and is closing for the week. Panic, but we were able to get everything rerouted, and we got into this beautiful spa hotel that's unfortunately 45 minutes from the core of where we want to be photographing. So given that sunrise is about 6 a.m., we've been assembling at our van well, it's about 6:30. We've been assembling in our van at 10 to 5 every morning and driving in. I've got this amazing crew. But we're in this really ritzy spa. Great food, amenities, all the spa stuff you might want. Tons of people walking around in robes. We actually kind of spoofed it and went out with our cameras and tripods in robes today and took a group shot. And we've just been traveling all over the park. But unfortunately, when you're down here, this far south in the world, there's a lot less of the things that you come to expect in the more developed world, like diesel and gasoline stations. So there is no diesel in this park, and it would be 3 hours out of our way. We're going to drive tomorrow to El Sultan, Argentina. And unfortunately, we've been running so much diesel because we've had to drive all over the park, an hour and a half extra every day to get in to photograph the places that we want to photograph, that we've run the diesel down. And I went to talk to the hotel, and they said, oh, the only place is back the way you came. And El Sultan in Argentina across the borders, way too far to get to with the diesel that we have. And so I start talking to all the staff here, and they tell me, well, there's a person that works at the smaller hostel nearby who sometimes brings diesel in for people that need it. And so I go knocking at doors, and I find this guy Gustavo, and there's no Spanish, and mi español es muy mal, not very good. But we got by, we figured it all out, and I paid a little bit extra, but I just put 40 liters of diesel out of his cans into the vans, and we're ready to go to El Sultan. And I have the most amazing crew of workshop participants. I swear, I don't know how I'm so lucky, but it seems like all of my workshops, I just get the best people. I get people who are in for it for the adventure, pulled together as a team. Let's get out there and photograph. It's more important to get out and get the good light than to sleep. And we've been having a ton of fun. We've been out in the wind shooting icebergs. We took a glacier boat ride out to Lago Gray and photographed the big glaciers out there and the peaks from the other side of Torres del Paine. We've been out with Guanaco. We've just been having a ton of fun on this workshop. So we've got one more sunset here in Torres del Paine. We're going to take off in about an hour and a half, get a little bit of food, run into the lake, photograph from a couple spots that we picked that we like best. We've got a dawn tomorrow morning, and then we head for the mountains of Argentina, Fitzroy and Cerro Torre outside El Sultan. So it's been a ton of fun. I guess the lessons from it is that whenever you're doing this kind of travel, you have to expect the unexpected. You have to shift. You have to move. It's lucky that I brought a whole bunch of extra U.S. cash with me because everybody likes U.S. cash, and it's been really, really instrumental, like getting Gustavo to get me fuel. He prefers the US dollars. And so just having some extra contingency plans. We also have had a few things like lens caps blow into space and, gear go down, and bringing an extra body, bringing extra lens caps, bringing extra polarizers. Those kinds of things are just critical on a trip like this where you're so far from civilization, you just can't easily replace it till the trip's over. So I'll do a couple more of these, hopefully on the road. There's not a lot of sleep, but there's a ton of fun, and the photography's been great. I can't wait to just do a roundup and show some of the images from this trip. Everybody's been taking amazing images, and as we get together and look at them, everybody's been seeing different things, and it's so much fun. It's literally these kinds of trips that I live for. All right, we'll see you next week.